Well, this is a very exciting day for us. Today's event marks the commencement of a significant project for Australia's largest urban renewal project. This area, 278 hectares, $8 billion here at Green Square. The city itself will be contributing $800 million over the next 10 years for infrastructure and community facilities. And by 2030 we'll have 54,000 people living here, we'll have 22,000 workers. So I just want to really give you the context of why this is so important. What we're doing today is so important because this micro-tunnelling machine that you've just seen demonstrated will begin work on a trunk drainage system which is essential to deal with the flooding issues in this area to allow this development to proceed. Where we are standing is part of the Waterloo Swamp floodplain, and we saw the impact of the torrential rains in April. It was a graphic reminder of why the development here couldn't proceed without this work being done. The floods trapped drivers in their cars and they were just 4 kilometres from the central business district. So this trunk drainage system will be a massive 2.4 kilometre long underground drain. It will take 3,000 litres of storm water each second out to Alexandria Canal and Botany Bay. And if you want to visualise that, just think of the equivalent of 300 bathtubs a second. To minimise disruption and digging up of the roads, the drain is being dug by a tunnelling machine below the surface of the route running under property that the City of Sydney owns. And the project will be completed in 2017. So just a little bit of the history. In numerous meetings over the years, I've told successive ministers that the drainage project was critical to enabling Green Square to proceed. Agreement was finally reached in 2014, and as you can see there is already massive development happening in this area, and we will have 10,000 apartments due for completion just over the next 4 years. And stormwater is a Sydney water responsibility, but the city is funding more than half of the trunk drainage cost. We're putting $53 million into the total cost of a $90 million project. So this drainage system, we understand, by the time it's completed, will be a $100 million project. So you can see why we're excited by today. And I just want to give you a little bit of history because some of you don't know the history here. This area was an urban renewal project that was announced by the Labor government in 1995. When I became Lord Mayor in 2004, we found that the project was really moribund. It wasn't going anywhere, so we took the lead, we reviewed the planning and we reviewed the financing. The complexities and the challenges were extraordinary. The land in the town centre, this area where we are, was in 18 different lots. It's not like Barangaroo that's in one lot, publicly owned. This was in 18 different lots of ownership, split between state and local government and private landowners. The wider renewal area had a dozen more landowners. The land was heavily contaminated from former industrial uses and there was no funding allocated for essential services. When it was announced in 95, we're told that no public funding would be used. So, as I said, we're putting in $800 million over the next 10 years. And $440 million of that will be for community infrastructure and facilities for the town centre. These projects will include a library and a public plaza and community centre and halls and childcare, cultural facilities, fantastic aquatic centre, public parkland, all essential for the many thousands of people who will be moving in here. So you can see why we're excited today. None of this could be happening without this trunk drainage system going ahead. And so I'd now like to hand over to the Minister who's actually responsible for it now happening. Niall.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. We are also very excited to see this drainage project commence today. This is going to be the largest drain that has been built in Sydney in the last 30 years. We know that this is going to be a success. We know that where we are standing now, just recently, nearly had 2 metres of water covering this area, and this drain will give us the ability to be able to take up to 300 bathtubs of water per second away from this site. We know that Sydney by 2030 will have another 1.6 million residents here in Sydney. So it's this type of infrastructure funded by Sydney Water, the New South Wales Government and the City of Sydney that's vital to enable projects like this to commence. So as Water Minister, along with the Lord Mayor here today, very excited to see the commencement of this project, and it will be something that will be greatly beneficial to progress, particularly in this area.